Hey everybody, welcome to another live broadcast. And if you're on my YouTube channel, maybe after the fact, you're wondering who's going to talk about this topic for 30 minutes. Well, I'm going to rock your world. Don't go anywhere yet. Let me at least introduce what I'm going to be talking about here today. I want to talk about how you integrate your will and trust into your business plan. Now, I know some of you are like, I'm too young. I don't need to worry about this. Whoa. Come back, hang tight while I explain why you need to worry about this as well. But I'm a CPA, an attorney, a small business owner. I've always been an entrepreneur in my life. Like many of you, I was the kid with the lemonade stand and then in college trying to sell who knows what, 10, 20 different businesses in my life. But that's what I do now in my law firm and accounting firm. We've got a great team consulting clients all over the country. I've got a great partnership with the Entrepreneur magazine, entrepreneur.com. So we're broadcasting live on Entrepreneur Facebook, as well as my own YouTube channel on Facebook. And I want to say thank you for watching this, and I want to dive into it. I'm going to answer your questions on any of these tax and legal questions. I've got my whiteboard up here, so please type your questions down below. I know we've got some regular listeners that catch this every week, and I want to say thank you. I am so passionate about small business and living our American dream. And it's tricky. There is so much content out there that's misinformation, scams, and just bad stuff. Now, if you Google my name, you're not going to find any of that garbage. And I'm here to help and protect you. And Ryan Shea, the CEO of Entrepreneur, has faith in me. I have faith in them. And I want to say thank you to Entrepreneur for allowing me to be a part of their life, their world. Now, I've got some books today. I'm going to even give away some books here, and we'll come to that in a minute. But first, estate plan and will. Guys, gals, I've got to tell you, less than 50% of Americans across the country even have a will. They don't even have a will or a trust or nothing. Even Prince, Purple Rain, I can't even sing, I want to do it. Purple Rain, Prince, the singer, and just this last couple of years ago in Minnesota died with no will, nothing. And it's been in court ever since. It's been a disaster. And we hear stories about this all the time. But just today, one of my own staff said, Mark, I don't have a will and trust because I don't have anything. I said, do you own a home? Well, yeah. Do you have a little equity in it? Yeah. Well, do you have a little life insurance policy somewhere? Well, I think so. And do you have a little IRA? Yeah. Do you own a car? Yep. All of a sudden, you start adding some of these things. You say, well, I don't know where it's going to go. And you're entrepreneurs. What's going to happen to your business? Everything that you've been working to build, how do you coordinate it? Well, I've got a simple way to do it. It's affordable. I'm not going to sell you anything that you've got to, do it with me right now or you're screwed. None of that. Ironically, I'm here every week. And this month, every year we do an estate planning special. And so I'll share that with you if you want to check it out. But the point is, there's some easy things you can do right now that are free, that'll help your assets be better organized and not wasted with court and lawyers and fights and So let's break it down. So again, type in your questions down below in the YouTube or Facebook comment area, and Rosalie and Mallory are going to read out those comments, and we're going to get right into it here, and I'm all yours. Use and abuse me here for 30 minutes or less. I'm all yours. So, okay, now first, when it comes to this estate planning, and you can do it this weekend, and it won't cost you anything. Your first option is to just have a will. You can do a handwritten will, get some software, go online, find some document. We don't even charge for this at our office because it's so easy. We don't even bill people. It's not that common that a lawyer's going to charge you thousands of dollars to do a will. Go print one out, get 2 witnesses, and have it notarized, and you're done. Send it to my office. We'll put it in your file, scan it, give it to your spouse, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, whoever loved ones you appoint, and the will be there, and you can say, I leave my business to so-and-so, maybe to your business partner, maybe to your loved one, your partner, whoever you're in love with, or you can even leave it to a charity. But you're not going to live forever. And just this week, literally yesterday, one of my good friends here, just around the corner in my town, he's like 4 years older than me, which is scary, died of a heart attack. Just boom. And his daughter today was inducing her first baby inducing labor for their first baby, and he died yesterday. The family's just been like reeling. But this happens all the time, people. Car accidents, bad health, crazy stuff happens. You're not going to live forever. So get it done. Do it. So do a will, and what you do in a will is you say who gets what. That easy. Who gets what? 50% of Americans don't even have that. You're also going to appoint an executor. This is kind of the party planner. This is the person that's going to plan your funeral, choose the flowers and the casket and all that good stuff and write your eulogy. Choose someone that's local and knows you. They don't have to be good with money. They don't have to be good with kids, but choose your executor. Then finally, your guardian. Who is going to raise your kids? Now, for some of you out there, you don't have any kids that you know of. Okay, so for some of you, that's a scary thought. Knock on the door someday. But for many of you that have children, who's going to raise your kids? You've got to appoint that. Now, parental rights, if you're divorced, your divorced wife or divorced husband is going to get the kids. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you're married there too, you want to say, who's going to raise our kids? You want to appoint that. This is what a will does. It's that easy. Who gets what? Here's my executor. Here's the guardian. And you're going to put, I'm married, single, kids, whatever. So you kind of put your family situation up there. And then you do this, do 2 witnesses, and get it notarized. You're off to the races. This is very, very simple. Now, witnesses, I should spell this out. Now, this is where we coordinate your business. Now, I want to be specific. In a will, you're just going to say where my business goes. A court will still be involved. There'll be lawyers, but at least there won't be a fight because we know where your stuff goes. What I love to do, and this is what we help our clients do around the country that are business owners, especially with real estate or investments, is we want to get a trust in the mix. And we always do a will. It's called a pour-over will. It's like 2 pages long. It says, here's who I am, put everything in my trust. Done. But the trust, now this is what looks cool here. I call it the trifecta. Your trust, now this is the big giveaway here. The trust owns your LLCs that have rental property. Your trust owns your operational business, which may be an S Corp or LLC. So you've got your operations and your assets. And there's 4 main things I want to go in your trust. I want your businesses, that's number 1. Number 2, I want your home, your primary residence to go into the trust. So this is your home. I want any life insurance. I'll put life right here. Beneficiary should be your spouse and then your trust. And then finally, any investment accounts, which could be IRAs or even 401ks. I want you to name your trust. Let me tell you a funny story. This was crazy. This was in California a few years ago. Guy was on the 18th hole of the golf course. So in a way, this is like, flashbacks of Caddyshack. He dies of a heart attack right there on the golf course. Had $1 million life insurance policy. A lot of people do. They got $500,000, $1 million. Sometimes the premiums can just be a few $100. Simple, easy, right? He dies, and his wife of 30 years mourns. They have the funeral, and then she called up the insurance company and said, hey, I need to get my $1 million check. You can send it here. And they go, okay, what's your name? And Mrs. So-and-so. You're not the beneficiary of this. She's like, what? I've been married to my husband for 30 years. I'm the beneficiary? Who else is going to get it? They go, the beneficiary is so-and-so. It was his first wife from 30 years ago. And she thought, well, I'll just give her a call and I'll be like, hey, can you just sign this document? I need to get my $1 million. Obviously, he didn't want you to get it. I'm sure she rushed to sign that one, right? No. This ends up in the Supreme Court of California. And the court held, he's dead. We don't know what his intent was. Maybe he meant to give it to his first wife and he's been miserable for 30 years. We don't know. And the court gave the money to the first wife. Even if you have a will or you have a trust, you have to update your beneficiaries when things change. You get married, you get divorced, you have kids, who knows? Who's going to get your business? Who's going to get your life insurance, your car, your truck, your home? You've got to lay this down. People, you're not going to live forever. It's easy to do, and it can be so affordable. Now, we got some questions. So let's just hit it and see what we got here. And I'm here for you guys. I won't beat you up. I know some of you think this is the most boring topic in the world, but we'll talk about whatever the heck you want. We can talk about the NBA playoffs, all right? Let's do it. What do we got?
Okay, Alejo, forgive me if I say his name wrong. He asked, what are the benefits of putting my S Corp under my trust?
Okay.
Would that save me money on taxes?
Okay, so Alejo says, I'm going to take my S Corp and put it in the trust. Mark, why am I going to do this? Does it save me taxes? Nope, it doesn't save you any taxes. Well, why am I going to do this? Alejo, the reason why you're doing this is because if you die tomorrow, who's going to run your business? Who's going to collect accounts receivable? Who's going to shut the business down? Who's going to sell it? The trust dictates by a trustee where your business goes. You can keep running the business. You're going to be dead. The trustee can keep running your business and collect accounts receivable, pay bills, and then put up this business for sale in the ordinary course of business and time, so there's no waste. Now, what happens, Elijah? Oh, you've got a 16-year-old. Oh, and so you didn't even do a will or trust, and your family holds together the business until your son or daughter inherits your business at age 18. Is that a good idea? Maybe not. So what's nice about a trust, Elijah, you're not doing this for asset protection. You're not doing it for tax planning. You're doing it so you don't jack up your kid's life. You leave it to your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad in an organized way where there's no lawyers, there's no court. They run the business and then sell it at the right time. And if you don't have a trust, it goes into probate. A lot of businesses fail. They go nowhere because no one's around to run it because you didn't plan. Take the time. Many of you, you're working so hard to build your small business. Just know you're not going to live forever. Have a plan. All right. Jethos, right?
Yes. Hey, Mark, thank you for all you do. I am one of your affiliates and just bought your Financial Freedom audiobook. Could you please explain a little bit about the 3-bucket savings and how can I do it right?
Okay, Jethos, thanks so much. Guys, this is a good question. You're going to thank Jethos for this. So what I talk about is that our life is a landscape, a financial landscape. And it's out here, you know, here's the sun, and here's your little mountains out here. And we've all got to get on our path out here to some sort of plan. And so here we are at this gate, and we want to get out there and get on our path to financial freedom. Well, guess what? Everybody's path is a little different. Some of you, again, married, single, have a lot of money, have no money. What's your path look like? And I have people, guys, this is important. I have clients from around the country call me and our other attorneys every day. And they go, Mark, I need an LLC. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? Well, I'm starting this business. And I'll say, okay, what's your 10-year plan? Well, I haven't thought that far. And I'll say, are you in debt? Well, yeah, I got a little bit of credit card debt. Do you have a reserve? What happens if the business isn't going well? Do you have anything to live on if things are bad? Are you keeping your day job? How's your marriage going? Oh, we might get a divorce. How's your kids doing? One's in rehab. Guys, I've heard it all. And life happens. It's not easy. It's hard. And so I get talking to people, and they want to get on the path. I'm going to fund my IRA. I'm going to go buy a rental property. But their personal life is jacked up. And we got to get this system in place, a 3-bucket system, before I run out the door. And so the first thing I do in this 3-bucket system is I say, let's have at least a 1-month reserve of cash. Now, Dave Ramsey, the king, I love Dave Ramsey. Awesome, he's changed so many lives. He's changed my life. And I took what Dave Ramsey was doing and took it to the next level, and I think he does a phenomenal job helping so many people. I'm not dissing him at all. But what he recommends, and I agree to, is you need some immediate cash, 1 month of your living expenses in a bucket. You want to have that ready because life happens. As Dave Ramsey says, crap happens, and you need to use something other than your credit cards. The next is the second bucket is 3 months of reserve. Have this and maybe an account that's gaining some sort of interest rate, but you can access it quickly. 3 months of reserve just in case business dips, you lose your job, you break your leg, something like that. The next bucket, boy, I'm terrible at doing buckets here. The next bucket is a 1-year reserve. And this might even involve some sort of cash value life insurance. Now, I don't sell life insurance, but this is something we can do here with this little 3rd bucket. Now, what I'll tell people is, before you start building a year reserve, let's start funding your Roth IRA. Let's start making sure that you're not renting and you own a home. Maybe we fund your regular IRA. Maybe you're doing something in your 401k. As you start to build your plan, you can start to have a situation with buckets that are going to work out. And I think I'm having a battery problem here, so I'm just going to take this, put it in my pocket, and clip it right on here. And we'll get rolling here. This will work fine. Okay, thanks, Dylan. All right. Now, on this plan, we're going to be building our assets as we kind of expand. Now, Jethos, One thing in this 3-bucket deal is I tell people also one of these steps is we're going to get out of debt. And we can get out of debt with a debt snowball. People, if you're in big credit card debt, you got to get out of debt before we really expand the business. I'll quote Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come. You can't get blessed from the universe when your life is kind of a wreck. Let's get out of debt. Let's get at least these 2 buckets going. And then let's start building our business. And as I start creating some cash flow, I can get a bigger savings account for really big stuff and work down the plan. So Jethos, that's kind of the deal. And by the way, Jethos is quoting me in my Financial Freedom book. And I'm going to give this book away today for anybody that shares this video. And Rosalie does a drawing every morning after the live broadcast, and I give away the books. And I got to tell you my winners from last week. It's right here. Last week, the Tax and Legal Playbook was Justin McGonigal. Justin won from my MJK YouTube channel, Tax and Legal. I want you to know I really give these books away. And then the Financial Freedom book we gave away last week was Arian Farvin on my MJK Facebook. And then my 8 steps workbook to start a business or grow your current business. I got like all these little videos and podcasts and webinars. You just watch here with your QR code. You can start watching videos immediately. 99 bucks on Amazon. Killer book, changing lives. This went out to Debbie Thomas from the Entrepreneur Facebook. So we're going to give these 3 away today, and we'll go from there. So Jethos, get out of debt, build the first 2 buckets, start building your business, and then we can have that 1-year reserve as you grow. I don't want to spend all our time getting that money in savings when you got to start paying bills. Brian.
Brian from Entrepreneur. Very simple question. Mark, who should be on the trust?
Okay, who should be on the trust is his question. Now I want to say this. Here's with this situation. Who's on the trust? Now that means a lot of different things. When you do a trust, so let's put it right here in our foundation, there's 2 or 3 key people. I want to appoint a trustee, and remember, in your will, you're going to appoint an executor, and you're going to appoint a guardian. Now, these are 3 different people. Now, think about this. The trustee is going to manage the money. They could be really good with money, but they're terrible at raising kids. The guardian could be so loving and kind to your kids, but they're a train wreck when it comes to money. Your executor, they live local, they're going to throw the funeral, but they don't want to raise your kids, and they don't want to do the money. They're just there to throw the party. These can be 3 different people. So, Jethos, Brian, when you're thinking about the trustee, you're going to be thinking about different people. You can even have a team of 3. Some people appoint me, their brother, their sister, or mom or dad, and there's 3 of us that are trustees. And if you die, it's kind of like a little democracy, and then 2 win out the vote, and you work as a team. Now, finally, Brian, your beneficiaries are who's going to get your stuff. That's the beneficiaries. Now, while you're alive, this is interesting. There's all these different things. Brian, that was a great question. You're going to be the living trustee, and this is a revocable living trust. You can change it anytime you want, people. I had a client that would get drunk every December around Christmas and call me the next morning. Okay, Mark, the kids are in this year, and blah, blah, blah. And then they cut out someone else. And then the next year, the kids are back in, and I cut someone else out. So he just changes it every year. You can do that because you're the trustee while you're alive, and then when you die, this trustee takes over. It could be a team or one person, and then they divvy out the money. A lot of times for the kids, I put in the deal, I'm going to do 1/3 for kids when they're 25, 1/3 when they're 30, 1/3 when they're 35. So you divvy out money. You don't want to ruin your kid's life by giving him money. If someone gave me $1 million when I was 18, I wouldn't be here today. It would have ruined my life. Do you want to leave your business to a partner or a spouse that maybe doesn't even want to run it? Think about your business continuation plan. That's going to be in your trust. And we draft that in every day for clients around the country. Okay, next question.
What if my son is too young to benefit from the trust? Can I have your office run it until he comes of age?
Great. Shay Groan, great question. Shay Roan, I thought there was a G in there. Shay Roan says, my kids are too young, Mark. What do I do? Well, this is good. You're going to appoint a guardian. What I did in my trust, Shay Roan, literally, me and Jennifer, my wife, what we said is, here's who's going to raise our kids, Here's who's going to manage the money, the life insurance, the business. When they turn 18, I told the trustee, the guardian's job is done, and we give the guardian maybe $1,000 a month or $2,000 or $3,000 a month to raise the kids. But once the kids turn 18, I told the trustee, pay for school, pay for a wedding. They can do maybe a Peace Corps or church service. And then when they want to go to college, pay for their college. And if they get married, give them a little money for marriage. So you put these rules in your trustee, and then when they turn 25, they can have a little. And when they graduate from college, they can have a bonus. And you give them money in pieces. And Sharon, our law firm gets appointed to be the trustee all the time, and we would love to. And we don't get a percentage of your money. We just charge our time when we help distribute money according to your Bible, the trust. This is the rule, and we follow it. And we're liable if we screw it up. So we're going to follow the rules and distribute money. Now, you could appoint one person. You could appoint 3 people. And you would say, Mark, I want your firm, but I'm always going to say, if Mark Kohler dies, who's your backup? I want 2 backups every time, Sharon. And you can change it. If you say, oh, I hate Mark Kohler now, 1-page amendment, couple $100. You can go to any law firm in the country and say, change my trust. I'm firing my trustee. I'm going to change it. That's why it's a revocable living trust. You can update it and change it anytime you want. But if you die, you got a plan. That's why we're doing it. And it's coordinated with your business. Remember, the trust owns your business. Goes from there. Okay, next question.
He asked, I have a solo 401k self-directed account. I have a beneficiary selection as my wife as primary beneficiary, my kids as second beneficiaries. In this case, Mark, do I need to move this into a trust?
Okay, so Herb, great question. And all of you should be hearing that on the microphone, so I'm not going to repeat it. So Herb has his trust, and he's got a 401k. Now, his primary beneficiary, he said, was his wife, right? Is that what he said? Primary beneficiary was wife. So this is primary. And this is normal. If you're married, you're going to put your spouse as your primary beneficiary. And if I died tomorrow, Jennifer would be the beneficiary of my 401k. But if my wife and I die in a car accident, a plane crash, who knows? And it happens all the time. Does Herb want his 401k to go to his 21-year-old that's battling an addiction of some sort? Probably not, right? So I make Herb, what I do is I make the contingent beneficiary the trust. So now the 401k goes into the trust, and there's see-through provisions. So it's not going to all be taxable at once, but we're going to put the 401k in the trust and then divvy it out to the kids when they meet certain benchmarks or they're ready for it. So primary beneficiary of the 401k, and if you're self-directing the 401k, you're out here with an LLC and you're making money and da-da-da-da-da, your spouse can continue to run the 401k, or if you have a contingent beneficiary, the trustee, guess who's going to run your self-directed 401k? It's going to turn into an IRA, and your trustee will continue to run it. So that way it's not wasted. So make the trust the contingent beneficiary of the 401k. You really don't put the 401k in the trust. You just make the trust the beneficiary after your spouse if something happens. All right, next question.
Julie has a question. If you have an LLC with your spouse, do you need 2 trusts? One for each, or will one living trust for both with the LLC documented in it?
Okay, this is a great question. I'm killing trees here, Julie. I love it. Julie has a spouse. Now, some of you are single, so you're going to have 1 trust. That's easy. But if you're married, you really have 2 options. You could have 1 joint revocable living trust, and both spouses are the co-trustees, and they're both in charge together. And that's cool. I would say probably 80% of my clients, we do a joint revocable living trust, and then the trust owns the LLC 100%. So it's still marital property. And if you die, your surviving spouse takes over. If you both die, we already talked about that. So the LLC is owned by the trust. It's non-taxable transfer. It all works, easy schmeezy. The LLC owns the property. Now, the other option is sometimes I'll do a trust for the husband and a trust for the wife. And then we tie the 2 together with kind of some provisions. Now, some of you may say, Mark, why would you do this? Well, it's oftentimes because it's a second marriage. So there might be a sort of a prenup involved. So these assets are husband's assets. These assets are wife's assets. And then we had kids together. So now we got his, hers, and ours. So Steve Martin, Helen Hunt, and 12 dozen, whatever that was. No, Cheaper by the Dozen. Oh, they didn't get remarried in Cheaper by the Dozen. I'm thinking of the wrong movie. Anyway, his, hers, and ours. We're going to have maybe a provision for our children, but we have separate trusts. Sometimes it's good for asset protection. I'll have one spouse that's maybe a surgeon or a doctor or a lawyer, husband or wife, and we want to keep some assets separate from the other spouse. Again, maybe it's a second marriage or there's some asset protection reasons. But I would say most of the time we're doing a joint revocable living trust. Okay, Mallory.
Miles, is there an advantage or disadvantage to giving my kids the tax-exempt amount now instead of waiting for the trust to pay them after my death?
Oh, Miles, great question. He's saying, I'm going to start gifting money to my kids now so I can get it out of my estate. Now, Miles, remember, under the new Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and even President Obama, we increased, as a country, our legislature, increased Congress, the state exemption now, where if you're married, I can prevent taxation in almost $12 million. So Miles, unless you've got big money, I don't like to give that money to the kids early. Now, if you're the next Kennedy or Rockefeller and you've got a bunch of money and you need to start getting out of your estate because it's a taxable estate. Now, what I mean, people, is you're worth more than 10 million bucks. We're going to start giving money to kids early, and we're going to do it in structures that prevent them from wasting it. Sometimes it's called a family limited partnership. Now, if you're watching this video and some of you are worth more than 10 million, first, thank you for giving me at the time of day because you're busy and you got big high-powered lawyers helping you. But you really need to talk to a strategist that's going to help give that money to kids in a very protected way. But Miles, if you're not worth millions, don't do it. Keep it in your joint revocable living trust. You should use it for your benefit, charity, make the world a better place. And if you die, you give it to the kids in a structured format where they can't blow it. But I'm always, because once you give it to your kids, you can't take it back. And that may not be the best thing in a situation. Now, I know you can put bells and whistles on it and control, but that's expensive too. I'm not the type of lawyer where I want to charge you thousands of dollars to give something to kids that they could always get it later. Anyway, Miles, that's my opinion. Be careful. Okay.
Yes. Could you
Thanks,
put
Rosalie.
multifamily rentals in a trust? And after you die, have the rental income continually going into the trust to grow it?
Yes, and I like what Jaylene says. She's got multi-unit rentals. Okay, cool. So that maybe you've got 10 doors, 20 doors. I was talking to a client yesterday that had 240 doors in apartment buildings and things like that. And so you might have multiple LLCs, Jaylene. So you've got LLCs that own multiple properties, and you've got this LLC structure. And that's very common, people. I'm not going to put a bunch of rentals in one LLC. So what Joellen does, Jaylene. I have a friend that's named Joellen, so it's kind of throwing me out. Jaylene, what I do is you have a trust, and this trust owns these other LLCs. And then what you do is you tell your trustee or your trustee team, it could be a lawyer, an advisor, a brother, a sister, mom, dad. And so you've got your trustee team. You tell them, hey, if anything happens to me, I want you to keep running these LLCs. And any cash flow, I want you to distribute to my kids or charity or whoever. I'm going to give them that cash flow, and I want them to learn about real estate. I want to teach them how to manage this. And so you can put in, again, a business continuation plan where you continue to manage all this real estate that you work so hard to build. And you can keep growing it inside the trust. But at some point, you've got to distribute it. And so you can put the rules of how it's distributed, when it's distributed, and yeah, Jaylene, I love it. Make sure your attorney knows how to draft this trust and it's going to own your LLCs. Mallory, who's here with me today, do you know her job at our firm? Once a week, she gets to come hang out and we shoot video and we're good. But the rest of the week, she's transferring title of the properties to the LLCs and then transferring the LLCs to the trust. That's what she does. She's an estate funder. So what she does is help all of our clients that we do the estate plans for kind of button them down and make sure they're funded. People, if you set up a trust and you don't fund it, it's not worth anything. You got to make sure all the crap's in it that you've got. And so when you're doing a trust or estate plan, in fact, this is what it looks like. Kathy and Mallory made me bring this today. This is what our little estate plan looks like. It's got all these different pieces and parts, the trust, the will, pull the plug if I'm a vegetable, and powers of attorney, location of important documents. And then when you get this in the mail, we have a little video you watch, and then Mallory takes you through and makes sure you get it funded. Changing life insurance beneficiaries, retirement account beneficiaries like we were talking about, and we make sure that the deeds are all transferred to where they need to go. So when you die, it's simple, it's easy. And you know what, people? You leave a legacy. You leave your stuff organized. So Mallory will become your best friend after you do an estate plan at our office. And we got a little special this month, and I'll have them share the link so that you can go check it out if you want. I've been very respectful of Entrepreneur and those watching on Facebook. This is not a sell-a-thon. This is not an infomercial. But we're here for you if you need us. But I really want to, again, continue to answer these questions. So maybe 2 or 3 more questions? We good? Jose. I mean, this is Mallory talking on behalf of Jose.
Yes. How do we move our business interest from JVs to trust?
Okay, so Jose says, how do we move our business interests from joint venture agreements to trust? Jose, you don't. I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do, and we can use the example here from Jaylene. Let's say Jaylene called you up, Jose, and she says, hey, let's do a deal. Let's do a joint venture. Now, what a joint venture is it's a contract, and we call it in the legal world a general partnership. Well, you don't want to do these very long, Jose. This is not a good idea. And like you said, well, I want my JV to be in my trust. Okay, that's good, but you've got a lot of liability here. Because in a JV agreement, if Jaylene goes out there and punches one of your tenants in the face, you're just as liable as Jaylene. So I don't like that. So Jaylene, Jose, thanks for letting me use you as examples. What I want is this general partnership JV to morph into an LLC. And I know, Jose, you might be in California and you're like, I don't want to pay the $800. Jose, it's a cost of doing business. Hey, you got the beach breeze, you got In-N-Out Burger, deal with it. You live in California, it comes with a cost. So anyway, get out of the JV and have the LLC run the business. So you turn the JV into an operating agreement, and then guess who owns the LLC? The trust. So your 50% is here, and well, this is Jaylene, and then your 50% is in your trust. So this is Jaylene's trust, this is Jose's trust, and both trusts own the LLC, and the LLC takes the place of the JV. I guess, Jose, you could do a transfer of your interest in the JV, but your partner would have to sign it, and you would transfer the JV into a trust. It's very, very uncommon. I don't know if I've ever even done that in 20 years of my career. What I do every week, every year, every month, is we transfer JVs into LLCs and then make the LLC owned by your trust. And that's what Mallory will help you do. Okay. Oh, last question. Okay.
Bolito, do you have, in order to do this, do you get the trust first or the LLC? Is there advantage on the order?
Good. Bolito says timing. How do we do the timing here? Guess what? You can go either way. I have a lot of clients like Jaylene. She's already got LLCs. So we add the trust after, and I just transfer the LLC interest to the trust. Now, some of you say, well, I already have a trust. And you call me up and go, Mark, I'm doing a deal with Jose, and we need an LLC. So the trust came first, and the LLC came second. In fact, if you call my law office and go, hey, Mark, I need an LLC in Tennessee. I just bought some rental properties down there. I'd like an hour with one of your tax attorneys, and we're doing a little LLC. And rather go to LegalZoom, you say, I want to talk to an attorney. We charge $800. So you call our office, we get your LLC going, and then I ask you in the consult, do you have a trust? And you say, yeah, I do. Well, I make the trust the owner of the LLC right to begin with. If you go, no, but I'm going to add a trust, can I do it at the same time? Yep. We give the trust a name, and we set up the LLC and trust at the same time. Or you say, well, I can't afford the trust right now. I want to do it later. Is that okay? Sure. Later this year, when we do your trust, I switch it with you, and the trust becomes the owner of the LLC. So the answer, Belito, is you can do it in any order. Just get it done. So anyway, in summary, I want to say this is what an estate plan looks like. And down in the below, if you want to do an estate plan with us, we have a special. It's only once a year. Go check it out. I'm not going to be too salesy. And I'm going to give away these books. And Rosalie always comes running into my office the next day and says, sign them. And then we send these out free. This is a big deal. I mean, I've worked so hard to write these books. They're for sale on Amazon. And if you don't win one, I please suggest go buy one. But Rosalie will give these away tomorrow, and I'll announce the winners next week. And finally, please share this video to win the books. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Hit the bell. And every time I shoot a new video or go live, you get an alert. Also, please like my page on Facebook. I do little tips every day and announce things. We've got a workshop in, Honolulu, Chicago, Seattle, Orange County, and Philadelphia. Also, I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale this weekend. I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale doing a real estate workshop. So if you get to my website, markjkohler.com, you'll see when all my events are, and I'm getting around the country, and I just want to say thank you for watching this. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you feel my integrity and passion for this. There's no, scuzzy, scammy feel to this. I want to just plan what you need. Don't go out and buy some prepackaged entity in Nevada or Wyoming or something. Get a consultation with an attorney, even if it's not us, with someone that you trust. So keep living the dream. Don't give up. And the estate planning special, I need to say, is from May 16th to June 16th. We're giving away a bunch of things like safes and emergency 72-hour kits and first aid kits. You're going to see the website with the sales page really spruce out. So check out our law firm, accounting firm if you need it. Thanks, everybody. And thanks to Rosalie and Mallory, who have to listen to me every week as I do this show and help us out with questions. Thanks, everybody. Keep living the dream.